Oh, I forgot to turn up my mixer. I turn that down. I had no idea just how is scuffed the right word? Show how boomer I am. I had no idea just how bad the audio was on my debut stream. It was terrible. It was really bad. The desktop audio was just blasting everything. But none of that matters now, because here I am. I just flew back from the Midwest, and man, are my arms tired. Okay. Jet lagged stream incoming. I have a very simple stream planned. Holy crap, I cannot talk. I have a very simple stream planned, and it really just boils down. Let me move myself over a little bit. It really just boils down to just tier listing and chatting, and just so I can get another stream under my belt and stay a little bit consistent with this. I have some more stuff planned tomorrow. I guess I can say this now. Yeah, tomorrow, having never gotten further than like the first like basic dungeon part of a Soulsborne game, I am going to attempt an Elden Ring playthrough. The DLC reminded me that I tried Elden Ring when it dropped. I tried Elden Ring at release, and I am so bad at those kinds of games that it was an unfun amount of punishment. But that's not going to stop me from trying it again. I know these games are not similar, but I have platinumed God of War Ragnarok, and I got really close to getting my platy in God of War 2018, and I did a max difficulty playthrough of 2018, not counting the Valkyries, and I'm in the middle of doing a max difficulty, a Give Me God of War run through Ragnarok, and I'll probably end up playing through the Berserkers on stream. But I know that like the God of War games, I don't know if you can call them the HD, because in the GTA world we call GTA 4 and 5, we call that the HD world, the HD universe. I don't know if you can technically call the 2018 and like the Norse, they're just the Norse universe games, duh. I know that the Norse God of War games are in no way, shape, or form similar to the play style and the mechanics and the combat style of the Soulsborne games, but I give myself a little bit of credit for mastering my step dodges and parrying and timing and stuff like that. Again, knowing that God of War is much more lenient on parries. I went from playing on normal mode in God of War Ragnarok to Tears of the Kingdom, and was immediately reminded just how lenient the God of War games are on parrying. You can be like a quarter second off on your parry, and it'll just give it to you. And Breath of the Wild isn't even like a super difficult game. It can be difficult at times, but it's not a super hard game. Not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Both of those games, the Switchverse Zelda games. And I was just kicked in the teeth with the learning curve of getting back into a game that actually doesn't just hold your hand the whole way. And I really feel like God of War in a lot of ways kind of does hold your hand. But I give myself credit for being midway through a max difficulty playthrough of the sequel, and having completed a max difficulty playthrough of the 2018 game, and having, just gotten very far in a game I don't know what I'm saying. But the end of all this yapping is that tomorrow I'm gonna return to Elden Ring, and regardless what happens, we are in this together. It's not gonna be good. I don't want anyone to get the impression that it's gonna be any any kind of max gameplay or anything like that. But it's gonna be fun. It's, I think in 2024, 4 years ago, geez Louise, I think I went into it maybe with the wrong mindset or just not really understanding what I was getting into or what I was doing. But at this point, you know, because it was just a punishing level of punishment. That was a great sentence, Matt. Good for you. I am so jet lagged. Let me take a sip of water. Let me take a sip of water. Hey, you, whoever's watching this, whether it's the stream or the re-upload, better be drinking some water or I'm gonna come after you. You better be drinking water. And that is a threat. But it was, I think in 2020 when I originally played Elden Ring, and because the only Soulsborne games I've ever played have been Souls 3 when I first got my Xbox 360 in college, which I'm a late bloomer to the entire gaming world. I bought an Xbox 360 once I had my first full-time job. Like once, I pulled in my first job at 22 an hour, and I was like, "Oh, I'm crushing it!" And I'm gonna buy an Xbox 360, and it was like $100 because this was in like 2016. I bought an Xbox 360 brand new from Walmart in 2016, and I was like, I just filled my arms with all the games I'd missed out on in high school, and Souls 3 was among them. And I know now that Souls 3 is a terrible game to start with, because versus a lot of the other Souls games, it's much more difficult in a not fun way. Like, it's punishing in a way that's not even remotely rewarding at times. Especially if you're just hopping into it, because it's so different from how a lot of other games play, a lot of other games mechanics and stuff. But I played Souls 3 and didn't get very far in it. Played Elden Ring and got like 12 minutes into it, and so that's what tomorrow is going to be. That's what tomorrow is going to bring. The resurgence of attention to Elden Ring because of the DLC, frankly, I'm going to be 1000% honest, is a content farm for me. But being a fresh streamer, a new streamer, I'm going to do stuff that obviously I want to do, like tier listing. I'm going to do stuff I want to do, but I also am going to do stuff that's pertinent right now. And Elden Ring is pertinent and is a perfect excuse, with it being trending right now. It is the perfect excuse to get back into it and try to pick up that sword, pick up that shield, and get right back into the fray or the fog or whatever, the fog of war. So, I have a very simple, but for now, that's tomorrow. I have a simple stream for oh, what the? I have a simple stream planned for today, and it's just tier listing. And I'm a car guy. I'm a car enthusiast. And more than a car enthusiast, I'm a certified mechanic, and I've got certifications and training and my degree and everything like that in automotive. So I'm just going to tier list. There's this ultimate car tier list of all of these cars, and a lot of them are not USDM. A lot of these are, holy crap, I didn't realize how big this tier list was. A lot of these are not USDM, and that's what I understand because I live in America. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be in this I don't know what the frick this is category. And so forgive me, European and Asian and not American viewers. There's just certain things that, like, there's things I'm not going to know and things I'm not going to understand. So, without further ado, let's get into it with this, which I believe is a 993. I'm already failing on the first one. A 993. It's obviously a 911. I think it's the like late 80s or like the mid 90s version. Oh, and I should explain the rules first. Actual legend, it's pretty self-explanatory. Legendary cars go here. Solid is a moniker I give to something that's like, it's pretty good. Like it's a pretty good car. It cannot go in legend status because it is not a legendary car, but also it's not mid. It's not a bad car. It's a good car. It's solid. It's pretty solid. Solid is a pretty solid rating. Then there's mid. That is just, you know, it's mid. It doesn't do anything exceptional, you know. And you'll see what I mean when we get further down the list. You'll see what I mean when I'm talking about all these. Beats walking is a pretty, that's pretty bad. Beats walking is a pretty bad, that's a pretty bad car. If you would rather walk than drive this car, assuming you're not in a walkable city, let's assume that you're in the Midwest. If you're defining a car as beats walking, that's a pretty bad car. And then there's I'd rather drive a Lucerne. The Lucerne is always my barometer for what an actual trash automobile is, like actual rolling toxic sewage. So there is my there be dragons. There be my parameters. So the first one, this generation of 911, I'm gonna call that, I don't think anything in the 90s was particularly good. I'm gonna put it at mid because I think that's pretty fair for it. This looks like that it's definitely an Acura. You can tell by the little mustache it's got on there. But I think that this is just that generation Civic. Oh, you can kind of not see what I'm looking at. Move me over a little. Move me over. Move me. There we go. This, I don't know if these are any good. I know that generation Civic is not that good. And actually, yeah, these are all organized alphabetically, aren't they? How nice, whoever made this. So this is definitely an Acura. It's just that generation Civic. I'm gonna put it at beats walking because Acuras are just, it's just a Honda with more chrome and a higher price tag. And Hondas are great, but Acuras are really dorky. Same with this one, which is another Civic with an Acura tag. This is a, I believe that generation TL. That TL generation was in Avengers. I remember specifically, why did Marvel get Acura to be their car sponsor? There were Acuras everywhere in Avengers 2012. Beats walking. The new Acura. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Not RTX, not RSX, NSX. The new Acura NSX. That's what it is, right? Should I? Okay. As I'm Googling this, I'm also handing in my Gearhead card. I'm sorry. Yeah, NSX, right? And yeah. This generation, the new NSX, and now that I couldn't even remember what it's called, all of my credibility on my opinion of it goes down the drain. But I'm gonna put it as solid because I know people didn't really like it because I think the complaint was that it was overpriced and underperforming, like versus what Acura was asking for it and versus the other competition in its class. Which is like the, not supercars, but like between sports car and supercar, like where a base C8 or like a C8 Z06 would land, where it's not, or a C7 Z06 would land, where it's above a sports car. It's more than like a basic Porsche Cayman, but it's less than a V10 R8. I think that for its class, people didn't like how it was really expensive, but it wasn't all that good. I like it though. I think they look so cool. I was in love with the design. I still am. That alone puts it in solid for me. And they sound cool too. I know they do sound a little bit breathy. They sound a little bit like an air conditioner, but solid car. Solid car. This is another TL, I believe, but why it has the rims and everything, that also goes. What the? Holy crap! My ambient mix just talked, and I was really confused. That also is. Whoa, that was a terrible cough. I also was gonna go in. As far as builds go, as far as like Acuras and Honda, as far as Acura builds and Honda builds go, that's a very tasteful one, but it's a TL. It goes in Beast Walking. I'm not a fan of them. The new Integra, as a car, pretty good. As an Integra, like as bringing back that name for it, mid. Because again, it's not a bad car. If they'd called it something else. Like, if this had been the new TL or the new TSX or something, that would have been fine. Calling it the Integra is just dorky if you're not going to make it into something that's like the NSX. This, I put it in solid because it's worthy of the NSX name. No, is it the best car ever? Is it the best supercar ever? Is it the best Acura ever? No, probably not. But it lives up to its name. The Integra, one rung below. All of these Acuras just look all the same, especially this generation with that stupid little aluminum mustache in the middle of it. There's a little buck tooth. That's coming from me, a squirrel. I have a really hard time distinguishing the difference between all of these Astons. I know I really like Astons, but I can't tell the difference between them. I think this is a Vantage or a Vanquish, but I also don't know. This is the old Bond car, wasn't it? But I don't even remember what it was called. As a Bond car, that bumps it up, but I have a grudge against cars where their main selling point is pop culture. So like the DeLorean and the GMC vans, the GMC vans from A-Team, the DMC DeLorean from Back to the Future. Good grief, what else would it be in? From Back to the Future. The 59 Cadillac from Ghostbusters, the Cadillac wagon. I knock those down a rung because they couldn't be popular by themselves, and they weren't popular in the movie because of what they were as a car. They were popular because of what the movie did for them. Even the General Lee, like the Dodge Charger was fine as is. The General Lee didn't add anything for me. Bullet didn't add anything to a 68 Mustang or a 68 Charger. Is it cool? Yes, but I like those cars based on the fact that it's a 68 Mustang, not based on Bullet. They never added anything for me. So I don't know where to put these though. I'm almost gonna have to just leave them out or put them in mid or something. Or I could just put them in, I don't know what this is. Because I just can't tell the difference between these. This, I know I've seen that one before. I don't know if it's a DB9 or if it's a Vanquish or a Vantage or what it is. Actually, this one might be a Vanquish. I feel like I recognize those headlights. That's gonna go in solid, and then the rest of these are gonna go in. I just don't know what they are. The Bond car beats walking because I think as a car I think it was pretty rotten. And then these race cars, I'm gonna have to make a different one for race cars, aren't I? How many actual race cars are in here? Probably quite a few, right? Because I'm just basing this on street cars, so I'm gonna add a row below and another row below, and it's gonna be race car, race, smash, and race pass. So this guy is gonna go in. It probably has a legendary, again, dumb Yankee here. It probably has legendary status. I think it looks really ugly though. I'm gonna pass. Newer R8s are gonna go in not solid. No, they're gonna go in solid. New R8s, they still hold up. They're still good. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it in mid because the original R8 should go there. Unless this is the original R. No, it's got the headlights that are. Is this the original or is this the new one? Solid. What is this? A 5, an RS5, an S5, S6. I like Audis. I know they have horrible reliability problems, but I like them. Mid. You go in mid. Audi TT, I've always thought is a pretty beats walking kind of car. I don't know why. I've always I've never really liked them. How do I make these smaller? Probably just have to zoom out, don't I? But then I won't be able to see the cars as well. Some of these cars, the PNGs are pretty tiny. This is a Chiron, isn't it? No, that's a Chiron. What is this? No, that's a Devo. This is a Chiron. This is a Devo. Chiron. Okay, right away the Veyron goes in actual legend status, but the Devo and the Chiron and whatever this thing is, I don't even know what that is. I know it's a Bugatti, but it's also hideous. Man, where does the Chiron go? Do I put it in mid? I think the Devo looks cooler. The Chiron, or the other way around. I think the I don't know. They both look cool, but they both also look kind of horrendous. They're just over-engineered looking cars in my IMO. You know what? I'm gonna do away with the race categories. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't know. Chiron, where do you go? Sharon. Just because it looks so psychotic, I'm gonna put the Devo in mid and the Chiron in solid. C6 Corvette, and especially this right here, which I believe is either a Z06 or a Grand Sport, that I feel is an actual legend car. Because remember the C6, when the C7 came out, it was good, but it had some weirdness with it. I put the C6, so the C7 is gonna go in solid, so is the C8. The C6 I hold a higher regard for, because for the time it did so much more leaping forward for its platform. Even though the C8 has flat plane cranks and mid-engine and that kind of stuff, versus the C5, the C6 had such a leap in its genealogy from the base C5 that came out in 2005, which was still kind of a horrible car, but by the time it ended its life cycle in 2013-14 model year, the Z06 and the ZR1 they had put the Vet on the world stage that the C7 and C8 continued. So that's why I put the C6 as such a high ranking, because it's a like it walked so that these could run kind of thing. I have so much respect for the C6. Cobalts beat walking. They're not bad. The Cobalt SS brings it up a lot, but the regular Cobalts, I'd almost rather drive a Lucerne. Chevelle. All Chevelles, I'm gonna put in legend, actual legend status. They are pretty legendary. If I just keep on adding, is this gonna just keep on, like, are they gonna stay the same size? Because that'd be kind of lame. Anyway, it is one of the definitions, like when you think of muscle cars, it helps define an entire segment that it has to be a legend status because of that. 6th gen Camaro, specifically the ZL1, because I think that's what this is getting at. Actually, this might be just be talking about Camaros in general, but specifically it's pulling out a 6th gen ZL1. It's a solid car. I don't think it's anything special, but I can't bring myself to put it in mid. It's a really fun car. I've driven a few of them actually when I worked at at a Chevrolet dealership. I PDI'd a couple 6 gens, and I PDI'd a lot of 6 gens, and I PDI'd a couple ZL1s. They're really cool. They're really fun. I can't put them in Legend because they are not worthy of Legend status. But I also can't bring myself to put them in Mid either because they're above Mid. So they're a solid car. What is this? Is this just a Malibu? Is this like a '66 Chevelle or something? It's a badass car. I'm gonna have to put it in Mid though. And then this. What is this? I don't even know what this is. It's got the fins. It's got like the little like the thing on the front here. It looks like that's not a 57 though, is it? Is this a 57? Am I high? This little guy right here is throwing me off. I think this is probably a 57 because a 57 Chevy would have to. Yes, yes, Lucerne is a yogurt brand. I'd rather drive a Buick Lucerne. I think this is a 57 Chevy. It's throwing me off this little side scoop right here because I don't know if I remember there being those little side scallops on 57s, and the big bullets in the grill. The grill looks off too, but I believe that this is supposed to be a 57 Bel Air, and 57s in any shape or form. They're legendary cars in terms of like styling, but as far as the car itself, 289 Power Glide, it's a pretty mid car for its day, and it's really just the craftsmanship of its appearance that is legendary. As far like as a car, as transportation, as something to drive, the experience is all just time capsule stuff. Because even in the 50s, it wasn't that great. It was, you know, it was luxurious, it was cool looking, but I'm gonna have to put it in Mid. Datsun 240, 280. Oh crap! Which is which? Oh gosh, Scoob. This is probably the 240 because this one has the little. This one just has a bare exposed bottom, and it has the steel. It has the metal bumper, and this one has the bumper, the aero bumper that goes all the way down. So I'm gonna call this a 240 and this a 280. Regardless, both of them, 240 is obviously a legend. Then 280 is gonna go in Mid. It didn't do enough with the platform after the 240. It didn't evolve it enough for me to really put it super high. This, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is a 510 or what this is. I feel bad putting it in I don't know, but I genuinely don't know what this is. Challenger, Hellcat Red Eye Wide Body or whatever this is. I love Hellcats. I know that and Challengers in general. I really like Challengers. I know that they're really boring. I know that they're like everyone has one. I know that they're overweight. They're really not that fast. They can't take a corner. I don't care. The vibe alone of these, and the fact that Ford has taken the Mustang and Chevy has taken the Camaro into sports car territory, and that's cool. But the vibe that this thing has, being the last true muscle car, I'm gonna put it before the Camaro because it doesn't make any apologies for what it is. It's like, yeah, this thing can't handle, this thing can't stop, but you would way rather have this as a daily versus a Mustang or a Camaro because the Challenger has real suspension, it has a real sized trunk, it has a real sized cabin. You still can't, no, you can't see out the back of it. And again, it can't handle, can't stop, but just the vibe, these things are just, they're a whole ass vibe, and that puts them way up there for me. The Camaro is a better car, the Challenger is a better vibe. This generation Charger beats walking. This generation Charger, Mid. Vipers. Vipers have gotta be legend status. Man, this is getting. How do I change alignment chart here? Let me pop into this alignment chart. Oh no! Okay, it saved my stuff. I accidentally clicked out, and I thought that something horrible just happened. Get out of here. I guess I can't make these any smaller, can I? Well, this list is just gonna get huge. SRT4. I'm gonna. Oh crap. Whew, I accidentally reordered that for some reason. That goes in solid, definitely solid. SRT4 was the start of the SRT vision. SRT standing for Street and Race Technologies, I believe, and it was Dodge's. I think it was when Chrysler was still in cahoots with Daimler, when it was Daimler Chrysler, and it was them trying to do something fun. It was them trying to build like a handful of performance cars. Will you get out of here? It was them trying to build a handful of performance cars. And so the SRT division that spawned the Viper and the Challenger and Charger and all of the cool cars from Mopar started with the SRT4. That alone brings it up. And then also, even like it was, how much did it make? Didn't it make like 250 horsepower and it only weighed like 2,800 pounds? Not even. Like it weighed nothing and it made crazy power for the day. Keep in mind, a blown Terminator at the time made like 390 horsepower. Like a supercharged V8 Mustang only made 100 more than this Turbo 4. They're cool. I will fight you on it. I really like them. Do they look a little obnoxious? Sure. Oh, this actually, because this is Daimler Chrysler, this might have been when they were in cahoots with Mitsubishi as well, when the Dodge Stealth was sharing platform with the Mitsubishi GTO, which was the 3000 GT here in the States. Yeah. Almost legend status. Almost. Oh, now we're getting into Ferraris that I just don't have a clue what most of these Ferraris are. I know I've seen this one before with the little scoop on the side and the little vents behind the hideaway headlights, but I don't know what it is. Frankly, I just don't really care that much about Ferraris. When it comes to exotics and that kind of stuff, I'm a Lamborghini guy and I like Lamborghinis, Koenigseggs, Paganis. I like those. Ferraris have always been, and Porsches. Ferraris have always been kind of, I don't know, with the exception of a handful that are legendary cars. The general Ferrari, like the general spread of Ferrari, like what is this one? This is the 430. I'll put the 430 at mid. Like it wasn't a bad car. The 430 was when I was starting to, because I think it was like around 2004, right? So when I was starting to get into cars, when I was in like when I was in elementary school, the 430 was the Ferrari of the day. That at the same time, the Blob Eye Subaru was out and the Evo 8 was out. I would rather have a Blob Eye or an Evo 8 than a 430. And that's all I'll say on that, and that's all you need to know about my opinions on Ferraris. This looks like a 488 because I think I can see the split vent on the side. The 488 was the turbo model, right? That I'll also put at mid. Where's my boy? Boy. 458 Italia. 458 Italia is the one, it's the only Ferrari I care about. 458 Italia is a legend car. If you release this today, this is a 2009 car. If you release this today, nobody would be disappointed. It's an amazing looking car. It's an amazing sounding car. I had the privilege during a car show to be able to hear one not just start up, rev, and then when they left the car meet, they left two stripes that were just as thick as any overpowered muscle car there. Guy knew how to drive too. Incredible car. just the vibe of it. It looks incredible. It sounds great. And from what reviewers and people like Clarkson and May and you know, Hammond, from what the car legends say, it is a proper Ferrari. I think that's the way Clarkson referred to it in Forza 4, and that's why it goes in legend status. It's a proper Ferrari. This, again, isn't this a Maranello? It was named after after a racetrack in Italy. It just looks so boring. Like 599 GTO. I'll put that in mid. Oh no, is that just a regular 599? This is a 599 GTO. They both go in mid. They're cool. They're just psychotic, and they look like they're on crack. I don't know what this one. I believe this is the 599 street car. I think these are like the GTO versions. I don't know what those are. One of them looks like a race model, so I'll put it there. Pass on that race. And then Enzo is another legend car. F12 Berlinetta. I hated the name. And it's a lot of red. Yeah, someone in chat just said that it's a lot of red cars. What's it called? It's just called Rosso Red, but Ferrari has their own patented shade of red. It's like specifically Ferrari red. Like there's a specific shade, a specific mixture of yellow that is OSHA yellow. It's like that's the yellow you see on warning labels and stuff in job places, and the yellow that's on the roads, like that's DOT yellow. And there's a specific orange that's a specific mixture of paint. Ferrari has that for their red. And these are obviously all like different lighting, so they look different shades, but I think these are all probably going to be Rosso Red or whatever the paint code is. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when companies trademark a specific color for like their whole, like all of their product lines, because Mopar had Go Mango and Lime Time back in the 60s and 70s, but they had it for a lot of cars, and they had it for a short period of time. Ferrari's had that same mixture of red for a long time, and it's always been an option on every single one of their product lines. It's pretty cool. F12 Berlinetta, I remember hating the name when these things came out. I thought it just sounded, regardless of what it means, it just sounded like letter salad, and it looks like a catfish. You go there. F50 also goes there. Looks so stupid. Testarossa also goes here. Beats walking. I don't even know what that is. Oh no, this is a 430. So then what's this? There. This is another F50, isn't it? Meh. Race there. I don't know what that is. LaFerrari, I think. LaFerrari? Isn't this the hybrid Ferrari? Solid. The hybrid supercars that came out, the hybrid hypercars, like the P1 and the what was the Porsche? The 918, the 918 Spider. Really cool. Really cool that they took hybrid technology, which is designed to save gas, which is designed to be like economical, and they used it to make a car go faster. For anyone who doesn't realize, like, electric motors, it's instant torque. That's always the huge claim to fame for Teslas, is that it's instant torque. There's no waiting. You're not waiting for it to rev. You're not waiting for it to spool. The faster you can mash that accelerator pedal, the faster you will get going. That's the big pull of them, but once you wind them out a certain way, they lose in top speed. And so for Ferrari with, I think the LaFerrari was hybrid. I might be going on a tangent for no reason, but I think the LaFerrari was a hybrid, and then the McLaren P1 and the Porsche 918 Spider, they were using the hybrid engine to not only help with like torque vectoring in corners, but also when is the engine not working at its peak? Like, when are you not getting the most out of the engine? During gear shifts, during gear changes. And so that little small jump, that small jolt where you weren't getting 1,000% acceleration, like in between gear changes, that whether it was 200 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds or however quick it was, the electric motor was taking over and making sure you weren't losing velocity. And that psychotic obsession to speed is what makes that's what makes hypercars so cool. They're solving a problem that nobody has. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either. These look like new Ferraris, and again, I have Ferraris. This Fiat 500 beats walking, but the original one, solid car. As far as I'm aware, again, dumb Yankee here, but as far as I'm aware, pretty inexpensive in its day, and you know, cute, tiny little car, and all most people need. I'm a big believer that, like, everyone gets mad at big trucks, like, oh, no one needs a big truck bed. Yeah, no one also needs a Honda, like the big Honda Pilot either. You could do all of your grocery running in something like this. So I don't have a problem with anyone getting big trucks or anything like that. It still annoys me when I have to park next to them. But this is a Fiat. I don't know what this is. Frankly, I only know this car from Forza. Focus RS. It's a solid car. All-wheel drive, 350 horsepower. I'm gonna have to bump it down to mid though, because you know that 350 horse out of that little tiny motor, and it being an American car, it's not gonna last very long. But as a car, it's a cool car. A lot of horsepower, stick shift, all-wheel drive. Cool car. The new Ford GT is going in solid. It's not going in legend status. I don't think it did enough cool things to belong, excuse me, in legend status. And that's probably gonna make a lot of, that's probably gonna make a lot of car enthusiasts mad, because it had so much tech in it. But if you strip away a lot of that tech, what are you left with? The chassis was okay. The engine was okay. It looks phenomenal. But the whole package without the electronics, like, it leans on its electronics so much that the rest of it's a detriment to the rest of the car. And you could say it about a lot of cars, but I feel like the Ford GT just overused it, you know? RS2000, it's a legend car. Classic old rally car from the 80s. And they just screamed up. Yeah, there is nothing in the Buick category. We haven't come across anything that's like actual sewage yet. It's all just cars that are, I don't know what they are, or it's just like it's not terrible. I'm going back through this category. No, all of these, I would drive these. I would drive all of these over a Lucerne. Escort Cosworth. Cosworth Escort goes in solid. Cool car. Not as legendary as the RS2000 though. Is this a 69 or a 70? Regardless, this generation, the later first gen Mustangs cannot be anything other than legend. They sold 1 million Mustangs in the first generation. They sold 1 million Mustangs in the first year they were released, 1964 and a half. They were released in 1964 as a 1964 and a half model year, and they sold 400,000 units. And for a two-door car back in the 60s, that is obscene. That is a psychotic amount of sales. And yeah, McDonald's sells the most burgers. That doesn't mean they're the best burger, but like just the longevity of the Mustang and how it all started with this. You bring them. It's the same thing with the Chevelle. It helps define an entire category. What the heck is this? What is this, a probe? Wait, what is this? We're into Hondas now. I thought this was a Ford. I feel like the front end almost looks like a Prelude. Looks like an old Prelude. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is either. I don't know what that is either. This generation Accord beats walking. They're mid actually. For what they're designed to do, they do it very well. Oh, the Accord Coupe. Bleh, bleh. We finally got our first one in the Buick category. The Accord Coupe it just didn't need to exist. Why, Honda? Why? New Accord. Oh, two. It's just a normal new car. Like, it's mid. Original Civic, legend, actual legend. Actually, I'll put it in solid because I think the EG Civic is more of a legend than that, which is right here. Heck yeah. One of the most underappreciated, maybe not even underappreciated, but just I feel like it gets a lot of love, and I feel like it still doesn't get enough love because it does so many things well. It's a grocery runner. You can build it into a drag car. It can be it can be so many different things. It was cheap fun at its peak. Like in the generation of the EG hatch, and also just those motors will run forever. It's legend, actual legend status. This generation Civic, not as good, but I'll put it in mid. This generation of Civic is trash, as I said with this. But I put it in Beats Walking, didn't I? Okay, I'm sorry. No, so then those belong here. No, I'm not gonna retcon my decisions. I'll put it in Beats Walking. What is this? Oh, a new Type R. Decent, pretty solid. 2016 Type R. What the frick happened to my music? Oh, the video ended. That happens. I'll just start it over. There we go. 2016 Type R. I'm gonna put. Where did I put the newer Type R? Put it in solid. I'll put it also in solid, but one ahead. Because I actually really, especially the hatchbacks. Oh, the hatchbacks look so cool. I really like that generation Type R. They look really cool. This goes down here actually, because it doesn't have a hatch version, and it doesn't look that much cooler. The Type R, this generation Type R, looks so much different than the regular car. Another just regular, you know, just a car. CRX, is that a CRX? I believe this is our CRX, and I really like CRXs. Again, another, like, just like the EG, which actually, I don't know if I can put the EG, I think is a legend car. I don't know if it deserves to be amongst the Veyron, the C6, the 458. I don't know if it's that good. I'll leave it up there for now though. But the CRX, again, in that same generation of like good, cheap fun. Another two-door Civic that's just it's just a meh car. Oh, the Honda NSX. Where does that go? Is it a legend car? I'm gonna put it in solid. I'd feel bad about it though. It has to be. It has to be. It cannot go anywhere other, right? It can't go anywhere other than being a legend car. Because I was gonna put it in solid, and then I looked up and saw the EG hatch in legend, and I cannot put it in solid. I don't know what this is. I love Preludes. Those go in solid. S2Ks go in solid. They're so expensive now. Honda's version of a this is going to be so sacrilegious. Honda's version of a Miata. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. What the frick is this thing? What the frick is this thing? Oh, that's the new dorky. Is this the Is this the is this the Sonata N or whatever? Mid. Tiburon. Veloster N. Solid, good cars, cool, fun, sound really cool. Pretty much any Infinity, especially this trash pile. What is it? G35 trash. What is this thing? It's not a Q60 because that's Q is the I don't know what that is. F-type Jaguar? Mid. It's not it's a solid car. It sounds good, it looks good, but there's so many cars that do that job better. It's literally just it's combining a Japanese, the idea of an English roadster, a Japanese sports car, and an American muscle car into one car that does neither of those things well. What is this? It's the old Jaguar. It's one of those names where it's like it's the Jaguar type or whatever. They look cool. What were these called? The X-type? Question mark? No. X-type is something new. No, X-type is a. Never mind. What's the? It's not an F-type. It's that classic Jaguar. E-type. Rush E. I didn't even know what it was called, and I cheated by Googling. But they look cool. They look really cool. I know a lot of people would probably put them in legend status. I don't really care that much about them, but I can't deny that they are beautiful, and they made a big impact on the car industry as a whole. These old piles. Bleh. Oh, XKR. Another car that looks like a catfish, but sounds crazy. Sounds maniacal. I'm gonna put it in mid though, because again, it doesn't do its job as well as it should for the price they're asking. There's other an M4, an M3, I think would be. I don't know if they're technically in the same class, but if you're looking at a two-door fast but still comfortable and luxurious car from Europe, and you're between an XKR and an M3 or an M4, just get the BMW. Just why is it even a question? What is this? It looks like what is this? Is this the only Kia on the whole list? Oh, it's a Stinger. I have a lot of respect for the Stingers. I'm gonna put them in solid, because they were the only thing. I didn't recognize them from all the way out from it being that small. I have a lot of respect for the Kia Stinger because it did the Dodge Charger's job. Where did I put the Charger? Did I put that in Beach Walking? I put it in mid. it came out like it was in this generation, the current generation Charger, and it kind of did its job better because it was in the same price range, but what was it? Lighter, more powerful, more fuel efficient. Like it's also a full size, fast performance sedan. Frankly, I think it does the job better, even though the Charger will always sound better and have a cooler vibe. It's just a better car. You know what? That's the exact same rationale I used about something I put in like S tier though. It's why I put the Challenger ahead of the Camaro, is that the Camaro is a better car, but the Challenger has a better vibe, and I'm using that same rationale to put the Stinger ahead of the Charger. But you know, I don't care. Koenigsegg. What is this? The Regera, the Agera, the I don't know how to pronounce any of those words. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I really like Koenigsegg's. This one is I don't know what it's called. It's not the CCX. That's this thing. Which is the CCX. I think it deserves legend status. I don't feel great about it though. I think it's purely solid. But I think as a car, I think the effect it had for it. Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Koenigsegg. That's I think. Oh wait, is it Koenigsegg? I think it's spelled like that. I'm not signed in to my own. Okay. I'm not signed in to my own freaking. I'm not signed in on OBS. Oh yeah, I did spell it correctly. Koenigsegg. Spelled like that. Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg. Yeah, I think the CCX deserves to be in legend status. I don't know if it technically, like, there's a lot of legendary cars here. Like I don't know if it has the pull these days of an old Mustang or an EG or a Veyron, but I think it did enough during the time that it was a car. I think it deserves it. I think it deserves to be up there. But back to these things. Where do I put these? I'll put them both in solid. Actually, this thing I'm gonna put in mid because I think it looks hideous. I know it's probably a really awesome car, but it just looks weird. Aventador. Oh no, there's two. So okay, so this is the original Aventador because it has the openings, the vents on the vents in the cheeks. The vents in the cheeks are open, whereas this one has the little side, little cannered looking things dipping into it. The original Aventador I have a ton of respect for. I don't know if it's I don't think it's a legend, but I'm gonna put it in solid, along with the like updated one. Which this is not the Super Veloce. This is not the Aventador SV. It's just the newer Aventador. The SV would have the big wing. It'd have a slightly different lower valence. Centenario, I'm gonna put the Centenario in Beats Walking because didn't they only make like 2 of them? It's barely a car. It's a concept car. It's barely a street car. I'll put it in mid. Fine. I was never a Countach guy. I just didn't really care. Mid. The Diablo though, Diablo was cool. Diablo can go in solid, and the Gallardo goes in legend status. So the Gallardo replaced by the Huracan. The Gallardo, I think, deserves to be in legend status above the Aventador. And like the Murcielago, and here let's finish the Lamborghinis. Let's see if we can finish the Lamborghinis. This was the original. Oh, this is a Huracan. Also goes in solid. What the? Oh, this is the weird 70s Lamborghini SUV. I don't even know what that is. Get out of here. Miura. It is a legendary car. Like, it did a lot for... I'm gonna put it in mid. I don't know why. I never cared about them. Murcielago. Murcielago also goes in solid. Reventon. The Reventon was just, it was a concept car. It was barely even a car. Where did I put the... Okay, so the Reventon goes next to the Centenario up there. The Reventon was basically the concept car, is basically like the design proof of concept for the Aventador. You can tell because they look almost identical. Or the Reventon came first and was basically a proof of concept for the design of what would eventually become the Aventador. And whatever the frick of this thing is, I know I've seen it before because I recognize those two red triangles up there. I think it looks hideous. It doesn't look... Lamborghinis look handsome. They look at... It's how do I describe this? They look handsome, but they're also psychopathically designed, but they're still handsome. If that makes any sense. If a DB9 is purely handsome and a Huracan Evo is purely psychotic, then the other Lamborghinis are the balance. They're supposed to, they're both. This just looks psycho. It's only psycho. I don't know what that is. Oh, freaking Urus. It's you're paying triple price for an Audi Q7. Get out of here. This thing also is barely a car. You know what? All of these barely a car concept cars get pushed down here, except for maybe the Reventon, because the Reventon spawned the Aventador, and I like the Aventador. Is that all? God, that freaking sniff in the song again. Okay, that's all the Lamborghinis. So, my spiel about why I put the Aventador, both the Aventadors, the Diablo, the reason why I put both Aventadors, the Diablo, the Huracan, and the Murcielago all in solid, but I put the Gallardo in legend, is because I feel like the Gallardo had a bigger impact, even more so than the Murcielago. The Gallardo was everywhere. Like the Gallardo was in every video game, every rap video, every movie. The Murcielago might have been like the more famous in the mainstream, but for the millennials that grew up that weren't yet car people, the Gallardo was the one that we played. That was the one that we drove in video games. And the Gallardo, the Balboni, and the Superveloce, not the Superveloce, the Superleggera. The Gallardo Balboni, which is a two-wheel drive with a stick, and the Gallardo Superleggera, which was at the time even faster than the Murcielago SV. Those were the quintessential Lamborghinis, because the Murcielago was like it was cool, it was big, it was low, and everything. But I just always had a more of an appreciation for the Gallardo over the Murcielago. I'm gonna put both of them there. I think Murcielago deserves to be up there in legend status, but it's gonna go behind the Gallardo. Okay, spiel over. I just really like Lambos. They're so much better than these dirtbag things. Regular Lexus, whatever that thing is. I never liked those things. What is this? RCF beats walking. Again, overpriced, underperforming. What is that? LFA, no contest. It is, without getting into a 4-hour spiel about this, the Lexus LFA, not like, yeah, it made a big wave on with the car world, and it still is the best sounding engine, best sounding exhaust note ever made. The V10 was designed and tuned by Yamaha's motorcycle division. It revs to, what does it rev to, like 9,000 RPM, and they had the intake and exhaust was tuned by like musicians. It was tuned by people who were like are acoustics experts. It is the best sounding exhaust. It's such a cool looking car. I don't care that it's $500,000 and it's only 500 horsepower. It doesn't matter. The thing is a legend. It is a legendary car without getting too much of a spiel into it. And it symbolized just exactly how passionate Toyota engineers could be when they were really let off the leash. Jeremy Clarkson put it best in one of the Top Gear reviews. It was when he was reviewing the RCF, when he was talking about how the RCF was such a disappointment compared to the soul of what the LFA was, and how it didn't live up to the soul, the spirit of the LFA. And he phrased it the best way, when he said that maybe the LFA was so good that even the people who made it don't know how to make it again. And that sums up I will leave it at that. What's next? Mazda 3 or Mazda Speed 3 or Mazda whatever this is. Would I take that over a Buick Lucerne? Yeah, I'd take it over a Lucerne. It beats walking. These generation Mazdas were all pretty junky, but they were still cars. I know people also in the same sphere of people who like Civics and Preludes and WRXs and stuff. I know they really like Mazda Speeds. I never could stand them. They always sounded like Hondas sound pretty ricey. Hondas sound pretty like nasally, and like their exhaust sounds pretty annoying. The Mazdas were always worse. I never liked the way they look. I never liked the way they sounded. They always felt really cheap. New Mazdas. Holy crap, there's a lot of Mazdas on this. New Mazdas. It's a car. There's nothing really special about them. So those are all gonna go in beats walking. I think that's a Speed 3 actually. Again, that generation of Mazda, there were better options with Mitsubishi and Honda. There were just better options if you wanted a fast and fun 4-door sedan. This is what? The Mazda Cosmo. The Mazda Cosmo. Cosmo and Wunderwaffen. Where does this thing go? I don't know how it really was as a car. I know I really like them though. They look really cool. I've seen a couple of them in person at big car shows and stuff. I like them. Because I don't know if they're trash as a car, like build quality and stuff, I'm gonna put them in mid actually. But I like those things. They're cute little buggers. This generation Miata. Here's the Miata that matters. Legend. I love these little things. They're so cute. They're cute, cheap, lightweight, fun. It's everything you want in a sports car, other than speed. This generation, I never liked that generation. I always thought they were really, really ugly. This generation, also, I'll put them in mid because it's still a Miata. It's still fun. This, ew, what is this thing? Blech. Let's see, is there anything in here that doesn't deserve to be? No, I think all that beats walking. New MX-5 and no longer a Miata. Mid. It's close. It's close. It's almost in solid, but it's Yeah, I'll put it in solid. I'll put it in solid. I really wish that these pictures shrunk down when when the list got to a certain size. I don't even know what this is. It's like an old like legacy Mazda Series 1 RX-7, Series 1 RX-7 with a 12A carbureted engine. My dad fell into a Welcome to the car zone. My dad fell into a car shaft. Series 1 RX-7 with the 12A carbureted engine. My dad was put on a wait list for one because he really wanted one. He's always liked. Am I drunk? He's always liked sports cars, and like roadsters and stuff. And he was on a wait list back when these things first came out. And they gave him a call, and because he told them, put him on a wait list because I want one specifically in red with a manual transmission. He got a call for a white one with an automatic, and he said no. He got a call for a green one that was a stick, and he's like no. And they finally said, well, we're gonna put you back on the bottom of the list. And he said no, just take me off the list. And he ended up, I think that was when he bought his he bought a Mustang SVO, which it wasn't in the Ford category, so it's not on this list, but it was the Fox body generation. So it was these, but it had a turbocharged 4-cylinder in it. Turbo 4 Mustang SVO, and he got it in red with a stick. And his was the 4-eyed version, so no, maybe it wasn't actually. If it was an 80, it was definitely an 80. I thought that this generation was the 4-eye. What was that? 84. Okay, yeah, so that was later. The 4-eyed Fox bodies were later. But yeah, so he had one of these exactly like this. Bone stock, never did anything to it. Oops, I accidentally hit one of my toggles. He had one exactly like this. He ended up getting rid of it. The power steering went out in it, and it was just, I think it was too expensive to replace or something. But yeah, my dad had one of those. My dad fell into a car shaft. This is also an RX-7, isn't it? What is this? Which RX-7 is this? Oh, is this the Savannah RX-7? I only know it as that. I only know it as that from Forza. I'm gonna have to put that in. I don't know because I don't know exactly what. I think it's an RX-7, but I don't know which one it is. RX-8 were interesting. They were cool. I never heard anything good about them from people who actually owned them. Everyone said that they were always prone to problems. They paid way too much for them for like the build quality and everything. It felt like a cheap, like it felt like one of these. Also there, and then this generation RX-7. I don't know what this generation RX-7 is called, but it's a legend. That rotary engine, like the rotaries that came in it, the design, the everything about it was just it punched way above its weight class in the sports car category, both in terms of performance and in terms of just vibes. A legend. Isn't this another RX-8? Holy crap, there's a lot of cars. Isn't this just another RX-8? What is this? I don't know what that is. The song. 720S, that's what this is, right? McLarens are interesting. Let's see, where's the McLarens that matter to me? The P1 is a legend, and trying to decide if the F1 is a legend as well. The F1 is gonna go in solid, and I think that's it. The 720 is purely mid. I don't know what this one is. The MP412C. Oh No! The MP412C is purely mid. The Senna's solid. Yeah, it's solid. I don't know what that is. Okay. This is, what is it just called? The GTR? Gross. The old SLS Gullwing. SLS AMG Gullwing. Oh, legendary car. One of the craziest sounding V8s. Like, that generation of AMG V8s just sounded insane. The 2013-14 C63 AMGs is one of my favorite European exhaust notes ever. Even against like even against the likes of a 458 or an Enzo or like some of the other crazy like high revving small displacement high revving V8s. It sounds so weird. It's such a crazy sound. It's like a snarl. If a Ferrari V8 screams and an American V8 roars, then the AMG V8s snarl. They've got this really unique cackle behind them, and their pops on decel, if they do, when they pop on decel, oh, it sounds good. These diesel square body AMGs are, I think, one of the worst cars ever made, frankly. Original Gullwing, I'll put it in solid. I know once again, it's another one of those cars I think a lot of people would have it in legend category. Not to me though. I don't think it was that good of a car. It's kind of like the DMC DeLorean, where the DeLorean made a huge impact on the world, but as a car, those things were trash. This is a C63, but it's not a C63 AMG. And this is a generation I was talking about. So with this being just a regular C63, I'm gonna have to put it in mid, because the AMG versions are, if you're in the market to drop 50 grand on a car, you might as well just hop up to 60,000 and get the AMG version. If you're buying a used one of these, they're not 50,000, 60,000, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna spend that kind of cheddar on a Benz, on a luxury car, just save up a little bit more and pony up for the performance model. Another race car that's gonna go in pass. I don't know what that is. Oh no, that's the Gullwing. So what is this? Mid. Poser, says the guy who couldn't recognize a Gullwing. Look at them, they're so happy together. SLR, not SLS, SLR, Mercedes SLR McLaren. This made waves when I was a kid. Wow, I remember this car. I haven't even seen a pic. I haven't even thought of this car in such a long time. I'll put it in solid because I think I don't know. I just thought they looked kind of stupid. This generation Eclipse is a solid car. This generation Eclipse beats walking, and this generation Eclipse is worse than a Lucerne. A buddy of mine, Jason, who now owns his own detailing business. Actually, he owns his own. It's him and like 2 employees or something. Jason Carlin, I can't remember where he lives now. I think he was in Florida. I think he was a Florida man. But in high school, he had it had the snot beat out of it. It was like on its last leg, like already had 190,000 miles on it, and things were falling apart. It had a gigantic subwoofer in the trunk that rattled the lift back. But he had one of these in this generation. It was not the turbo model, but it was a stick, and it was 2-wheel drive. It was a cool car. It was one of those cars, kind of like the Prelude, where even in basic trim, they're fun. They're interesting enough and they're fun enough to make it worth it. Is this a Galant? What is this? What is this? I feel like I should know what this is. I don't know what that is. This is a, whether it's a 3000 GT or 3000 GT or a GTO, it's still a pretty solid car. They were fun. They did what they were supposed to do, and they did it well. Evo 8, I'm gonna have to put in solid because I don't think it deserves to be in legend status, but Evo 8 is one of my favorite Japanese cars of all time, and I'm not exaggerating about that. Like, in the same league as an LFA and an NSX and an EG hatch, I love Evo 8s. I just don't think that they did enough to be... Actually, by that same logic, the P1 has to come down here. These are legendary cars where it's not just that I like them. They did a lot for the world. They did a lot for the car industry. They did a lot for their segment, their class. I don't think the Evo did that many things good to put it in legend status, but I really like these things. Evo 10 is purely mid. And then a basic Lancer. What? And then a basic Lancer. Ugh. This, what is this? Is this an Evo? Is this a 7? 9? What is this? I don't remember what that is. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I'll smash that one. Where did I put the weird... Okay, the weird concept cars. That one has to go there. Because these, at least I know, are some kind of Lamborghini. I don't remember what the name of this one is. Like, I think it starts with a V, doesn't it? What is this nonsense? Okay, now these are Peugeots, aren't they? Now we're getting into cars that I just don't know what they are because I'm not in Europe. How far down are we? Okay. Second gen Firebird is mid. Oh my gosh. You're really not gonna give me a WS6. You're giving me a basic 96 Firebird as the representative for the I'm not gonna stand for this. I will not stand for this. I am gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat. Oh, I accidentally put my... I keep forgetting that I have my toggles right now. My toggles are connected to my my numpad. I need to take them off my numpad. What was I doing? Okay. Let me find a good picture. You will see what I mean in a second. Oh, excuse me. That's a good picture. Is this song saying "Step on Me"? Okay. Choose files. Don't look at my files. Now I'm looking through to see what you guys just saw. Okay, nothing super incriminating. Actually, all you saw was streaming assets. Where did that go? I just took that screenshot. Okay. You will see what I mean in a second. Okay. So, it gave me a 96 basic Firebird to represent the 4th gen F-body. That is unacceptable. So this goes in Beats Walking, because they're pretty horrible and pretty boring, but the later generation, the facelifted version of that body style, the F body, in the 4th gen F body, the WS6 in black is one of my actual dream cars. Like, on the level of an original an original Viper, this sits. So this I am gonna put in solid, and I almost want to put it in legendary, but I don't think it has earned legendary because it's just a basic kind of mediocre American sports car. But I love these things, and the fact that it gave me this trash to represent the entirety of the 4th Gen F body was unacceptable, and I had to add one. So, okay, 1st Gen Firebird. That's pretty good. That's solid. Smokey and the Bandit made this car famous, and I don't get why. I never liked 3rd Gen Firebirds. 3rd Gen Camaros, I actually can't. Actually, no, this wasn't even a 3rd Gen. This was just this was an early 2nd Gen, or a late 2nd Gen, and this was an early 2nd Gen. But at least this one, I never liked them. I don't know why. Even the Smokey and the Bandit one with the 455 poking out of the hood, I don't know why. I just never really cared about them. The last GTO, solid car. I know they look really boring, but they're very fun. Solstice was one of the better cars Pontiac made in that generation, but that's not really a compliment. I'm actually gonna move that down to mid because it was pretty heavy compared to the WS6, which the WS6 just used a regular 5.7 LS1, I think, and the why is my winking not working? Oh, that's annoying. Compared to the WS6, which used an LS1, this used an LS3 6.0. It used a 5.7, and you can get it with a 5.7 or a 6.0. But comparatively, the Firebird was way better than the GTO. The GTO was good. It doesn't get as much love as it should, but I'll have to put it in mid. Oh my gosh! Okay, we're down to Porsches. Why was there a Porsche at the top? There was a Porsche we did for the first car. Why was there a 993 all the way up here? Oh, whatever. What is this? Is this a... What is this? Is this a 996? That's just really blurry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Get out of here. Don't download. Get out of here. Where's my ad blocker right now? Whatever, I'll do with that later. Where are we at? With whatever Porsche that was. This is a 996, isn't it? I don't recognize, with the body kit and everything, I don't recognize what kind of 996 that is. So 996 is just the body style designation for the 911. The 911 is the model name. 911 is the model name. 996 is this model generation code name. So this is the 996. I think this is a 991. This was a 993. It's just how they designate them instead of saying like 1st gen, 3rd gen, 8th gen, whatever. I've driven my father-in-law's 996, and honestly, it's purely mid as a sports car. Like, it was fun, but that car had 14,000 miles on it, so it was as pure of an experience of a 996 as I could get. And was it fun? Yeah, but would I rather have an MX-5? Kind of. So it's gonna go in mid. Sorry to all you 996 owners, but to be completely fair, this is the Porsche owners IROC Z. That's what this is. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. This is the 911's version of the IROC Z. It is the unloved stepchild, and it is unloved for a reason. I don't know what this is. I know it's an 911. I don't know what it is. These nuts. Oh, this is a 996. And so is this. Why are there so... that's not. That's a Cayman. Wait, why are there so many? This must be the GT... I'm so confused. The 991... I think it's 991 that had that little LED strip on the bottom. Loved those cars. Another one of those cars, gosh dang it. Another one of those cars that was coming out when I was really getting into cars in high school. I'm gonna put that in solid. And then the newer one, I'm gonna put in purely mid because the price has risen so much. I don't really think that they've gotten better. They've gotten more powerful, but I don't know. Have they gotten like, do they handle better? Is the feel better? Is the build quality better? Like, what are you doing besides just cramming more boost down its throat? Like, anyone can do that. So, I really like these. The newer ones, they're, it's a Porsche. Older Porsches, I don't really care about that much. Mid. I don't know what that is. And then these other two 996s, why are they here? And then they'll go beside the other 996. What is that? I know this is a legend car. I don't know what it is, and I never cared about it. I'd never even heard of it until Forza, so it's going there. This, I think, is just... I think these are just Caymans, right? Not this. These are just Caymans, aren't they? Beats walking. Again, if you want a lightweight, fun sports car, an S2K or a Miata is half price of these things. Carrera GT. I never cared about it. I think it deserves to be in legend status. But I never cared. There's just so many Porsches and they're all just squashed Beetles. Why is there a Mustang down here? Oh, Shelby S. It's so dumb that they put it's like it's a Shelby GT5. No, the actual, if you look on the registration tag, like on the VIN tag, on the registration, on everything, it is a Ford Shelby GT500. It's not a Shelby Mustang. It's not a Ford GT500. It's not a Shelby GT. It's a Ford Shelby because it's a collaboration between Ford Motor Company and Shelby American. Shelby is an arm, like their performance division of Ford, but not in the same way the M division is an arm of BMW. Not in the same way that, I was about to say but Alpina is its own thing. I don't know. It's a pet peeve of mine when people say it's a Ford GT500 or it's a Shelby GT500. I'll know what you're talking about, but it's one of those things where I just push up my glasses and I say, actually, okay, I don't know what the frick that is. This is just kind of a mid 911. Cayman GT4 is one of the most beautiful sports cars I've ever met. I really like the Cayman GT4s. I can't even tell you why. But just that tiny little Porsche with a stick, it scratches the itches that a PDK 911 cannot. Love those things. Another old 911 that I just don't really care about. Same with this one. This is the same car as this. Whatever. Another 991 or whatever this thing is. I cannot from here tell the difference between a 911 Turbo, a 911 GT3 RS, a 911 GT2 RS. I like Porsches. They're too samey. Like they need something more, and maybe that's kind of the point, is that they're they're kind of stealth, but they're not. It's still a Porsche. Like, so whatever this thing is, it'll just go right next to the other one. Why is this one having such a fun background? The Panamera. Morb. The Taycan. What's the Tucanon? The Taycan I think is a great car. It's everything I wish Tesla could be. Super fast, very luxurious, and it actually looks good. I cannot stand the way Teslas look. They're so boring, especially the interiors. This looks like an actual car. The interior looks like an actual interior. It's not just an uninspired flat expanse with a TV in the middle. I really like them. It's everything I wish the Model S Plaid was. Even I don't care the Plaid's faster. This is better. Has a better vibe, looks better. And frankly, I would not be surprised if it handles and felt better too, because its chassis is from Porsche. Like, oh my gosh, so many of these friggin' things. Oof. This is another Peugeot. No, this is a Renault something. I don't know what that is. This generation GT500 is cool. It's solid. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put it down here because the S550 generation, my favorite S550 is the GT350, hands down. It's not even close for me between the GT350 and the GT500. And I wish there was a GT350 on this list. I guess I could add it the way I added the WS6. New BRZ. I think they look a lot more stupid. I'm gonna put them in mid. And the older BRZs are solid cars. Not that $25,000 is cheap by any means, but versus the median average price of a used car, the BRZ is the first car, like the BRZ and FRS, Scion FRS, when they still made those. Remember those? Remember the Scions? The BRZ and the Scion FRS and now the Toyota 86 are the only cars that like offer, besides the Miata, they're the only thing besides the MX-5 that's doing a cheap, fun car that isn't compromising on a lot. Because there's you can find cheap cars that are like supposed to be fun, but a lot of them compromise. 22B. I know that people only think this is a legend car because of Colin McRae, but like that is such a huge reason. Colin McRae ushered in such a huge wave of millennial car people. It's not just like the car by itself is still stunning. It's still a cool car. It sounds cool. It's still a good car by itself. But the legacy behind it that picks it up even more. The second most recent WRX, I'm gonna put in mid. Okay, now we're into Toyotas. This is this old Camry. Mid. Frankly, I think it beats walking because it's such a hideously boring car, but it does its job so well that I'm gonna bump it above beats walking. Same with this generation Camry. Solid car, but you know, boring as hell. The newer Camrys get a little bit. The newer Camrys get solid status because they raised the price a ton, but I think honestly, with the standard tech and the interior, hop into a base model one of these, it's still pretty good, and I think that it's kind of justified the price bump that they've put on these things based on what you're like for what you're getting. I think it makes more sense than not. It is not just the exact same thing. I guess it just goes right next to it. I should know what this is, but I don't. Corolla. Again, just a boring commuter car. Another. This is this a Camry? This is another Camry, isn't it? Another boring commuter car. These Corollas, I actually kind of have a vendetta against, because these Corollas were when they started, like, these Corollas weren't offering a lot more in terms of like what, like they weren't that much better, but they were way more expensive than the previous generations were. Oh my gosh, stop. Same with these. What is this? Because this is a newer Corolla, but it's like a performance model. I don't even know what that is. They have a TRD. Do they have a TRD Corolla? Mid. Oh my gosh. The GR Corolla. Incredibly cool car, but it's so overpriced. Like, my word. Why does this look like such a stupid picture for this thing? Why does this look so out of proportion? Why do the proportions look so weird on this? Either way, Either way, it's still a legend car, but... And no, it's not just because of Initial D. It was a cool car before. I'm not pulling a DeLorean with this. A cool car even without. So there. Where does this go? In mid, the new 86. Where did I put the new BRZ? Right there. Okay, cool. I'm glad I put them both in the same thing without even checking first. New Supra. I don't care that it's a BMW. I care that it's so overpriced for what it is. Like, it's just, that was a huge letdown. I was really hoping that Toyota, when they brought back the, I do not care that it's a BMW. I do not care. But I was really hoping they would have made it, I guess because they have the 86, they weren't going to make it like the 86, where it's going to be an inexpensive, cheap, fun, small sports car. But it also wasn't like, if they were bringing back the Supra name, they could have made it a supercar. They could have, like, honestly, everyone thought when the LFA came out, everyone thought that this was going to be a Supra. Everyone thought they were going to call this the Supra. Oops. Come on, quit fighting. Get over it. Everyone thought when the LFA came out, some people were calling it the Supra concept, actually. And then the Mark IV Supra, I'm not as obsessed with it as a lot of people are, but I cannot deny I really like the car. I think it's way overhyped, but it still has had such an impact on the industry and on the enthusiast sphere that it deserves legend status. I just think that it's put in the work to get to legend status, but it still is a little full of itself. I don't know what that is. Now we're into V-dubs. Okay, so now we're getting, oh my gosh, there's still so many cars. Why are there BMWs at the bottom of the list? I thought this was alphabetical. Beetle is one of the, it's one of the definitions of iconic. You don't need to say anything else. It's a Beetle. It's one of the definitions of iconic. Also, don't ask Volkswagen what they were doing at the time that they designed this. New Beetle. Rather have a Lucerne. Trash. Jetta? Mid, just a normal car. Golf. Oh, especially if this is like the Type Golf, not the Type R. Especially if this is a Golf R or something, supersonic car. I really like hot hatches. I didn't appreciate in my younger days. I do now. I don't know any of these Volvos. I don't know what that is either. These Volvo, I know that they're good, but again, they're just kind of there. They're just normal commuter cars to me. I don't know. I know that they're incredibly safe, and everyone says they're really reliable. I never really cared about them that much. The Polestar bumps it up a notch, though. That goes there. Zenvo, right? That's what this is. This is a Zenvo. I don't know what that is. I think it's a Zenvo, but and even if it is, I don't know anything about them. Okay, now we're into the because with that being Z, all these look like they were added in after the fact, and yeah, because here's a AE86 that's a much better picture than. So is this not an 8086? So then what is that? Is that just the earlier generation of it? That's how little I know. Okay. With this being a Zenvo, with this being the Z, and this list being pretty much alphabetical up to this point, I'm gonna go through and just pick and choose which ones I'm gonna rank, and then we're gonna call it for this. So this thing, rather have a Buick. I don't like the Tiburons. I don't know why. I never liked them. They were so stupid. Celica, ooh, this generation Celica was decent. Solid. Actually, mid. Okay. I believe this is the AE86 that I was thinking of. And so I'm going to put that guy there and pull this guy down into solid. What else is here? 370Z? Ugh. And 350Z, where are you? I know I saw you. Don't hide from me. You can't hide. Cannot hide from me. That's a 370, 350Z. Boop. The VUQ is one of the worst sounding engines on the face of the earth. 300Z. 300ZX is an interesting car. Purely mid. It's as good as Nissan could do in the 90s, you know. So you got to give them that. It was good for what they were trying to do at the time. GTR. Solid car. I don't think it deserves legend status. Ooh, R32. Here's a hot take for you. The R32 goes there in legend status. And the R34 goes below it. Fight me. Oh, here's an actual. Here's a really old 240. I think that might be like the original 240. Tesla Cybertruck. Where do I put this thing? Putting it as mid. It's just I frankly don't feel like it's that. I don't really feel like it does its job very well. Like it makes so many compromises. Also, knowing the development hell that Tesla employees went through trying to meet their billionaire psychopath CEO's demands to make this impossible thing a reality, it's so stupid. You guys got to remember that when there's no crumple zones, when the vehicle is so sturdy that it can like run through brick walls and not even care, when there's no crumple zones, your back is the crumple zone. And when the edges are all steel and sharp and angular like that, all stainless, sharp, right angle steel, you think a Dodge Ram is bad for pedestrians. It's cool that it's so fast. It's cool that it's so different and unique. But it's like it. I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like it. The F-150 Lightning and the Rivian R1T are far superior to the Cybertruck because those are actual cars. This is a psychopath's toy. Which one of these is the Tesla I'm looking for? Is it this? The original Model S, like the older Model S. I think it's this because it has an actual grille. Solid. I can't tell which one of these is a Model 3 because I would put a Model 3 up there above the, like I would put a Model 3 above there because the Model 3 is so much cheaper and still does a lot of the same things the Model S does. But yeah. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. E30 M3. Where else can it go? It is a legend in its own right. Just like look at all the cars on this list. Tell me the E30 doesn't belong in the company of these heroes. Now, the M3 everyone loves is the E46 M3. My favorite M3 is the E36. And I can't tell you why. It's just, I don't know. I think personally it looks more handsome than the E46. That's just a regular sedan. I wish it had, I wish this list had an E92 M3 coupe. Because that's the one that I really like. I guess this is an E92 M3, but it's the 4-door instead of the 2-door. And this is a newer M4. All of these remotes. Oh, Alpha. There wasn't a single Alpha on the list, was there? Just as well. I don't really care about Alphas. Leaf? Beats walking. I think it's still the cheapest EV you can get. That doesn't mean it's a good car, though. 240SX. I think this will round us out. 240SX, solid car. Always has been, always will be. I think that will round us out. I think that will do it for us. I think that will do it for us. I did not expect, I knew there was a lot of cars. I didn't expect it to take 2 hours, 2 actual hours, but here we are. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Everyone who did, I appreciate you. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go relax. I will be here tomorrow, and I'll be playing some Elden Ring, and it's gonna be an experience. So, holy crap! I did not have a single dropped frame that entire stream. Woo! Anyways, I'm gonna just slowly scroll so you can see what we did. But other than that, that is gonna round us out, and I will see you all next time. I'm so tired. I gotta go. Thanks everyone for showing up to the stream. Everyone who did, I appreciate you, and I'll see all of you next time. Peace.